Do you believe this stuff that's coming out of your mouth? There's no way you do.
This was a credit card cuckold.
Love wins out in the end, you know? I've got about 90 minutes.
That's plenty. And if I need you for 91, you'll stay for 91. That's the fun of it.
Is that right?
That's right. It is Sunday, December the 15th. That's Douglas Wade. My name's Casey Wandell. Casey on Tap is roaring back in the saddle. Last week, a little conversation with my beautiful sister whose birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday again, Carrie Croft.
Big 5-0. Wow.
What?
Wasn't she 50 yesterday?
Hey, man. Hey, Carrie, I didn't.
Well, I mean, hey, it was all over. It was all over social media. She's not hiding from it.
I know a few things about life. I didn't say any numbers. All I said, Care, was I love the shit out of you. Okay? I don't know how old you are. I'm not
put me on the spot here. Well,
I'm not putting anybody on the spot. You threw the number out. I didn't.
I knew it from her IG post. What do you want me to do?
I have no idea. All I know is it was her birthday. Woo!
Well, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. She owns it.
Doug's throwing out some big numbers. I'm just messing. It was the big 5-0.
Delete it.
I'm not going to delete it. Most people don't look better at 50 than they do when they're in their 20s and 30s. Carrie Croft has done.
I mean, she doesn't look but maybe a year or two older than me. It's unbelievable.
No. New places, new faces. Doug, how about this? In the last check, we were in 4 or 5 countries.
Okay.
How many do you think we're in now?
7 countries.
10. How about 10?
10.
What the hell's going on? I don't know. Let's talk about this. How about Finland with 31 episode downloads?
They've watched every episode.
Singapore, the United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, Norway, the Netherlands, South Africa, Portugal, the United Arab Emirates. What's that?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that Dubai? What's the
United Arab?
Anyway, 10 countries, 100 cities as of today. How about that, Doug?
That's good. That's, like you say, we're an ever-growing fungus.
We're talking sex. We talk booze. We're talking gambling. We're talking real life. That's what people want to hear.
We've proven to give winners, which, that's a big deal. And we had Keith Byers on, and we've had some great guests. I mean, come on.
How great was Keith Byers? I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was. He always is. He's great.
I know, but he really, if you listened, he dropped some.
You could tell he's done that before, like he had very good answers.
Pro, no doubt. If you're a sports junkie, you're listening to Keith Byers telling stories about Doug Flutie holding the Heisman and telling stories about Jerome Brown and Reggie White. I mean, dude, I could listen to him talk stories all day. Speaking of winners, let's get right to the fan feedback. Norm, King of the Hill Sebecki. To the victor go the spoils in life. I got to tell you, Norm's a diehard Michigan fan. So he got that going for him. He jumps on here, throws a 6-0 nuke on Ed Conley's face, drops the mic, and now shots fired at none other than Douglas Wade. Doug, you need to find a different hat to pull your picks from next week. 2-4 ain't getting it done, brother, with a wink face. Doug, Norm Sebecki came. Forget Ed Conley. He just came. He put you right in the crosshairs. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well,
this is great. Good for you, Norm. Good for you.
8 consecutive weeks at 500 or better.
Oh, here we go. Oh, God. See, Norm, this is what he does. No.
I mean, one week we went 2-4. What do you want me to do?
That's the one that's what makes it fun. You see, the rear view mirror in your car is 150 times smaller than your windshield.
Can't win them all.
No. I think this is hilarious, don't you? I mean, come on. Norm Sebecki.
I mean, Norm did something unprecedented. He picked 1 week, and he could just sit back, and there's no response. There's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can do.
No, listen, you got to come up with some picks this week, though.
We'll report during this week, and I'll have them for him next week.
All right. How about Matthew Sebecki, my dear friend and brother, diehard Michigan fan and Naval Academy vet?
I was going to say kudos to them for that Navy victory yesterday.
I mean, listen, it's cyclical, folks. I mean, Ohio State guys, people, adult guys, gals. I mean, remember Cooper was, what was it, 2-10-1, something like that, and then Ohio State won 14 out of 15 years, and then Michigan. It's all cyclical. Relax. Right now, to the victor go the spoils. And the Sebecki family, they've got Michigan, they've got the Nate. It's a good time to be a Sebecki. That's all I'm saying, right?
That's it.
Douglas Ann Marie in Highland Heights, Ohio, just today actually said to me, listen to the podcast with your sister. That beer mile sounds very interesting. Now, I don't know if you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I told you I listened to it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. If you listened, you saw the gauntlet that I threw out on behalf of you and I. Yes. I made it very, very. Listen, Dominic, God bless Dominic. I mean, he texted Carrie and I. He made a little video of him on a treadmill, like looking at that, watching the show. He was vehement about, hey, you guys, I'm gonna get that done. And the beer mile, by the way, folks, Carrie and her friends down there, she has a collaboration with a craft brewer, but Bobby Carpenter. He's a Hall of Fame linebacker from the Ohio State University, and he's a Dallas Cowboy. I mean, okay, Bobby Carpenter, who's a machine. He did this. It's 4 beers. It's a beer every quarter mile, like while you're running a treadmill, like doing an interview. I mean, the concept sounds interesting, but here's the problem. When you go away from people like Terminate, like a half cyborg like Bobby Carpenter, when you go into the common man like Dominic, who I said, Doug and I will go there live and post underbets all day. He said, I'll finish no matter what it takes. If I poop my pants, whatever. Dominic, please hear me. That's the point. Of course you can, but you can't poop your pants or puke.
Yeah. Nothing can leave your body. Nothing can leave your body other than spit, maybe.
He spits fine. We'd be there to count how many spits, but he wasn't. I'm not sure he was understanding through the text what the wager was. I mean, anybody could crawl, but the bottom line is this: we'd have to set a time, and we'd make it reasonable, like 10 minutes. Okay.
Well, no, you drink not 10 minutes. I'd give him 15 minutes.
Okay, fine, 15 minutes. A beer every quarter mile. There's a 0% chance, that you're not, it's not coming out your nostrils. He would do that thing, people sometimes they try to hold it in their mouth. It would come out their nose.
Dom, no, he's not doing that.
Okay. So Dominic, that's the bottom.
Let me ask you, do you think I could do that?
Look, we all could do it, I could do it with tools
in a reasonable time.
Here's the key, but here's the key. The key is I don't know. I have to run like what? It's the time. See, there has to be. I think 15 minutes is way too generous. I think it's too generous.
Yeah, because if you run real slow, you don't have the effect.
No, you got to have, because you get it. You get what I'm trying to get at here.
What if we say like the miles per hour? Are you doing this on a treadmill?
It's a treadmill. I'm going to say 10 minutes. I'm saying 10 minutes. Like you got a 10-minute mile. I could run a 10-minute mile right now. 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not. That's 30 minutes in the freaking in a 5K.
So a 10-minute mile, is that like 6 miles an hour on the treadmill? What is that? How fast is that?
Well, it's 10 minutes for a mile. That's how fast it is.
I'm just wondering if you set it at like, okay, you can never go less than 5 miles an hour. What that time is.
I'm telling you, if we go under, so if you go over 10 minutes, you lose.
Dom can't run a 10-minute mile without beer.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is that I love the concept. Now, look, for Carrie and for Bobby Carpenter, for their purposes, I think it's kind of like a hot wings thing, like where you're interviewing somebody while they're doing that, which is fine. This would be competitive for us in our audience gambling. So 10 minutes. Let's just, for the sake of this conversation right now, say it's 10 minutes, 4 beers. You, no. Dom, no. Now, I've lost bets before, but I'm going.
Am I allowed? Am I allowed to drink them while I'm running, or do I have to stop to drink?
You have to have a full beer down every quarter mile.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it like that, I mean, you're basically,
yeah, because you're like constantly like trying to drink it as you're.
I'm taking bets all day.
I don't even think I could do it in 10 minutes. And if I can do it, I know Dom can't do it.
Now, I would bet that you could run a mile in 10 minutes right now, no problem. Don't mistake what I'm saying.
I could
okay.
Yeah, I'm saying with the beer.
But while drinking, can you imagine?
I could run a mile in under 7 minutes right now.
You should have told me that, because then your over-under might be 9 minutes then.
I can't do it in 10 because I'm just visualizing the beer. Like when I get to that third beer, I'm gonna be like
it would be awful. It'd be awful. No, and it's coming this way. All right, so look, that leads us into our next fan feedback from Matt in Virginia, and by Virginia we mean North Carolina. And by the way, Matt is a big Navy guy.
Okay? I know,
big Navy guy. So there you go, Matthew. Congratulations. Okay, go Navy. He says he has two. He had one comment last week and then one the week before. Dude, I legit just pulled over on I-95 with a fucking dry heave thanks to the Doug Dorley bong water story. So,
oh yeah,
and that's God bless Doug, man. But that's what makes all my stories great, frankly, is that they're all very true. You know this, your friends, like all my stories are true. And he had Doug, you'll appreciate this. It was a McDonald's. It was one of those commemorative. It was Drew Bledsoe. He was a Patriots jersey. It was one of those commemorative McDonald's cups. You understand? We're talking about 30, like a big ass cup.
I mean, if it was anybody but Doug Dorley, I would have never believed that story ever.
See, and people out there that don't, God, the mold is broken with them, man.
Oh, but God.
We were having a little shindig, little party there, 59 East 11th. Were you ever at our place there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you get it. We're out there on the balcony.
That's the one where to get your front door, you had to go down a couple steps.
That's correct. That's correct. That's
yeah. I hung out on that couch many times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I knew that. Okay. Well, that was there. We were outside, and that 3 foot, we call it the Green Monster. Donnie Barrington water bong. Oh my God! And that water. You know, I mean, we're dudes. We're just college dudes. The only time we cleaned the bong was when we'd walk in and be like, "What's that smell?" Fucking Doug. Doug's like, give me $20. I'll drink that water. That's $20, and I was like, deal. But the rules are you can't puke, And by the way, there was like a 10-minute, he had like 10 minutes to hold it down. He drank that water. It makes me dry heave right now. It was like this. Like it was chunks. He was coming down the sides of his mouth.
Stop.
Oh no, it was awful.
Enough.
And again, and $20, like at the time, I remember smoking. I had the Marlboro Light, man. Like $20 is like, I don't want to lose $20. And he goes, oh. And here I am for a second going, yeah. He goes, give me that money, bitch. I'm like, what? Like, no, you're going to stand here for 10 minutes. You're going to be, he was just like, I can do that. Drink 10 of those. So anyway, that's how Dominic so thank you, Doug Dorley, for creating those rules. So now we know that, and frankly, I think I'd post a over-under on Dom. He said he'd finish even if he shit his pants. I think Dom would shit his pants and puke up the beer. So
that would be worth it.
Now, listen, I'm going to try to get through this message from Matt from Virginia, and by Virginia we mean North Carolina. He had some fan feedback about the bukkake story.
Oh boy,
Carrie loved it. Everyone loved the bukkake, Doug. Everyone loved the bukkake story. And I don't know about you, but here personally, maybe a lot of people know who I am around here. I get so many people that want to come up to me and talk to me about the podcast.
Because it's hard to believe. I mean, it's just.
I'm going to try to read this, but Matthew knows. Matthew knows that he sent this. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if we can. All right, let me try to read this. I mean, he really, dude. Tony from Medina. You, Doug and Dom, you nerds, totally missed the mark. That's where we're starting. We missed the mark, Doug. Let me paint, pun intended, a picture for you. Now, this is not for the faint of heart here. Tony and this young lass, the girl, is super into bukkake. Not a big deal, he writes, all caps. Not a big deal. Tony's like, hey, babe, I'm not super into the notion of you taking multiple blasts of frothy ejaculant to the face. So let's try this. In exactly 2 weeks from now, I'll be your huckleberry. I'll blast you in the face, meaning ejaculant. The talk, the buildup, the tension of no sexual activity on both of our parts will be unbearable. Oh, the hype. Finally, the big day comes. Doug, are you getting this picture? He's painting this picture for us.
I'm with him.
Good. Finally, the big day comes. The young lass pulls up the bukkake video of her choice and starts, flicking the hell out of that bean, son. This is great. What's wrong with this guy? And hey, Carrie, you think it's me? Look at me. I'm just forwarding this. Oh my God. And I'm Perv Nation, Doug. And I'm Perv Nation. Where was I? Oh yeah, flicking the hell out of her bean.
We're flicking beans.
We're flicking beans here. She wants that face of her to be covered. She needs it to be covered. There's a Few Good Men reference. I got that, Matthew. I like that. In comes Tony from Medina. Balls as blue as an Alice in Chains Unplugged song. Ready to blast. That was good. He watches the young lass pleasure herself some more. And then on cue, Doug, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of the rain emojis.
Mm-hmm.
You get it. There's 14 of them. He just pastes her mug like a mellow cream donut. Problem solved. Matthew from Virginia. By Virginia, we mean North Carolina. I mean, what do we say to that? Did I give it justice? Did I give that justice? I mean, did I read that properly? I mean, he wanted a picture painted.
I'm there with him, and I got immersed, and it's hard to argue with him. I like that picture.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I know funny. Some would argue I invented funny. Okay, I know funny. Matthew from North Carolina is a funny dude. Make no mistake. He's a funny dude. Well done, Matthew. And finally, Jen from Lima, Ohio. Casey, if you guys are interested, my son just started his WAR, W-A-R, it's an acronym, his WAR wrestling career, hence the picture I sent you, Doug. He trains with other pro wrestlers, and he just had his debut at the Bradfield Center last Saturday. He's a great speaker and can impromptu quite well. Let me know if you're interested. I sent you that picture of him. I swear to God, she sent me another one of him, like midair drop kicking some dude. He looks like he would be a blast to have on. She didn't give me his name, but it's like the fight. It looks like maybe like the fire stick or something, like the fireman, like fire. Like you got the red hair, you got the flames. He looks like an up and comer. I say we have him on just to hey, look, I love the pro wrestling world it's hotter than ever. It's bigger than. Hey, did you see Saturday Night Live main event came back last night? They had Saturday night main event last night. They brought it back retro style. Jesse the Body Ventura was back in the booth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard about that because
dude, I say we have him on. What do you say?
I didn't watch it, but Ventura was on the Bill Simmons podcast, and I listened to him.
Did you hear him?
Of course, I just said I did. Yeah,
he is an American treasure, as Ed Conley says.
He's the body.
All right, so Jen, we're gonna we'll contact you. We're gonna have him on. Why? I mean, let's see what his mic skills.
Go.
Maybe
he
he'll
looks
come on
pretty young. I'm not sure how many of the like inside wrestling stories he's got for us, but we can find
No, he
out.
doesn't have any. We talking about he's green.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
He's
as green
so
as
young.
yeah, but I know. But you gotta have the. I want to see him. You gotta have the mic skills. You gotta have the charisma.
What we need to do is go to him. We want to go on site and we want to see Dom wrestle him. And I think him and Dom should wrestle, and he can like show Dom some of his moves, and we can
That's
see his
funny.
high wire stuff in action. Dom would embrace this wholeheartedly. Put him on site, man. Let's go find this guy.
So
Get
yeah,
in the
all right.
ring.
So there, all right, there you go. So there's our fan feedback. There's our new places, new faces. Douglas, look, we got a lot to get to. Where do we begin? Diddy, Jay-Z,
Diddy.
and now LeBron is being. We're not. I'm not.
Okay.
Listen, we're not here to say that he did or didn't. That's not what we're doing. Here's what you cannot deny. Look, this is all shit talking aside. I don't want this to be true. He's in a lot of videos with Diddy, and now his name is being folded in, and you see he's taking a leave of absence from the team. And I'm not a LeBron guy. I don't like the Lakers. I was like, say it ain't so, right?
I mean, I'm going to come off as a homer, but I don't think LeBron is involved in this any way whatsoever. That's just not him.
But I repeat, that's fine. But here's the thing: we have to let it play out now. I don't want to believe that he was
it's
either.
Gonna play out regardless. I wasn't even surprised. I mean, like, there's been names flying up all over the place. People love to, put the biggest names in those kind of. I mean, come on.
Doug, no, we're talking about Doug, Jay-Z. I'm not talking about rumors.
I think that Diddy had like this world he was in that LeBron was unaware of, and Diddy's a celebrity.
Let me ask you this: have you read up on this? I'm not being the smartest. Do you know what's going on?
I mean,
there is no. They were there and didn't know what's going on. That's not how this works. See, that's the problem. So just last week, Diddy, who is in prison right now. Okay, here's look. I don't take any joy in this. It makes me heartbroken and sick to think that we're surrounded by people like this. Doug, just last week, he was up. He tried to get bond again. He tried to get bonded out. His trial starts in 2025. This is Diddy with all the money and all the attorneys and the judge said he is the most dangerous person to society. Absolutely zero chance of him walking out until he's in prison until we don't even know what the hell is going on. We're talking about rapes of boys, girls. We're talking about a multitude that if you were at these Diddy parties, there is no, oh yeah, I didn't know what was going on. That's not how this works. Jay-Z is
we don't know that.
No, we do know it. Every room had some sick, twisted shit going on. Like, what's LeBron doing right now? Like what? I mean, obviously this he left the team. It absolutely coincides with, I mean, he's lawyering up right now. Have you ever in your life heard of I mean, JJ Redick's like, yeah, he just left. He's not gonna be with us for a minute. He's excused. What are we talking about right here, Doug? What the hell's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Well, listen. Same.
I just hope it's. I mean.
I hope to God, LeBron.
It would be shot. He's not one of those guys that you would assume would be part of it, but who knows? I mean,
you see that you see that thing going around again. Like we've all seen it before, but with him going, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Like that's circulating. You've seen LeBron do that, right?
Yeah.
That's old. But now it looks, dude, like if I had a picture with Diddy, can you imagine?
Yeah, but think about it though, that like it's just too hard for me to comprehend that you're going into a party where you're assaulting underage girls and kids
and boys,
and then you're gonna rap and sing about it in a song. Like that's just not even normal. Like that, there's no way that's what I'm saying. Like I don't believe that. It doesn't even make sense.
All right, look, one more kind of weird, twisted, newsy story. Then we'll get to sports. This JonBenet Ramsey case. It needs to be solved. It needs to be solved. Doug, I watched this documentary, I don't know, came out a couple weeks ago. It sent me down this damn rabbit hole, Doug. I turned into Inspector Gadget Detective. I start going on YouTube. I'm like, I'm going to solve this case. Bro, wait until you are refreshed with what happened out there. It's the most, it's the most bizarre. Remember the ransom note? The 3-page ransom note?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the pineapple that was in her stomach that was sitting on the kitchen table, the handwriting. This poor girl, I mean, so her skull was fractured. She had this freaking garrote torture device on her neck. Her dad found her, picked up the body. You got to watch that documentary. And it comes down to one of two theories. You either believe there was an intruder or you don't, right? Because it was the mom, the dad, and Burke, the brother, the 9-year-old. She was 6. The brother was 9. They came home from a Christmas party. The parents testified they put her straight to bed. And that was the end of it. Found her at 5:30 in the morning. So there are detectives that absolutely believe there was an intruder that came in and did this shit and left. You either believe there was an intruder or it was somebody in the house. Okay, that's where it starts. Do you remember what side do you remember like where you are with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because there's no right answer. I mean, everyone thought it was the mom.
No, I mean, it's hard not to believe that it was someone in the house. That's it. When you first hear the story, every time you hear it, it's like, okay, it doesn't add up that just some random intruder would pick out a 6-year-old and do this. Like, it doesn't.
Yep.
I mean, my inclination, my gut would say it has to be somebody in the house.
So
it's either the dad or the brother.
Right. So the new documentary that came out it's on the side of the intruder theory, and it's John Ramsey, the dad, who's interviewed the whole time. Doug, so help me God. It's only 3 episodes. And when I got done with the 3rd episode, I called my mom, my sister, I go, I got great news. For the first time in my life, I am convinced that nobody in the family killed JonBenet. That's where you're going to be when you watch it. When it ends, you're like, it was an intruder. It was an intruder. Without a doubt. I mean, this guy talks the whole time. You're like, this guy didn't. The evidence. But then I said, nay, let me put my detective hat on. I went over to YouTube. And then I think it was the brother. I think the brother smashed the girl in the skull. I think he got pissed off at her, drills her in the skull with a flashlight, like a big blunt flashlight, crushes her skull. And I think the parents covered it up. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell or why they would do that, but I think they basically staged that whole thing. Dude, you got to watch the damn documentary. Like, it makes no sense. Anyway, that's that. All right, let's get to sports now. Let's talk about Billy Belichick. What are your thoughts? Billy Belichick going to North Carolina?
Well, I'm like most people. I'm stunned. I'm stunned.
Yeah.
He had records right there in the NFL still to break that he was going to break. And if he wants to go to college, my God, he could pick darn near any job he wanted. Why is he going to North Carolina? I understand there's roots there and stuff, but my God, I'm surprised. He must have some close friends at Carolina, or he just comfortable job. He wants to live in the area. He doesn't, because it's not the job you're picking for him. I mean, I don't.
Well, you see his girlfriend.
I was shocked.
You see his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe she was.
I was shocked though, man. I would have bet anything he was going to be in Chicago or Dallas. I just have a hard time believing he chose to go to North Carolina and Chapel Hill. But hey, man, I hope he does well. I've always been a Belichick fan, so I hope he does well. But crazy.
My take, it's interesting. So, I think I was with Ed Conley that day, and just like you, right there, and me, we have the same old thinking. Which college football is, in a very literal way, we don't know this new age yet. 20 years from now, your kids, like, they're going to know this whole thing. We just know what we've known. We also know the name Bill Belichick, which is synonymous for his run there at New England. So when I first heard ESPN that he had the talks with North Carolina. I text Ed. I said, that can't be right. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? No. Well, he took the job, and then I started listening to him and kind of reading about it. And it's interesting because it turns out, we forget his last few years in New England weren't that good. Not only were they not that good, he's a crotchety. I don't know if you know any old men that are like super rich and successful that are set in their ways. And I think Bill Belichick just turned into this thing. He turned into this thing. He didn't talk to anybody. And he alienated everything and everybody. So if you remember last year, the only team, there were seven openings. 7. And only one team, this is all reported now, one team, the Atlanta Falcons, out of 7, even gave him an interview. You and me and everybody was just, Bill Belichick's a shoo-in. They interviewed him twice. And it turns out that nobody, like the owner was like, what do you think? And everybody in the Falcons staff, they're like, nobody wants to work with this guy. Like they turned him down. So he takes this year off. He gets a sniff from North Carolina. And his people are saying, Bill, I don't think anybody in the NFL wants you anymore. I don't think the Cowboys really were going to go after him. It's, I think the Sean McVays and the Matt LaFleur's. And now when I heard Bill Belichick talk, when he said, if I take the North Carolina job, which he eventually did, when he said, I'm going to run it like an NFL program, the talent, the training, the development, I thought, oh my God, that's right. That's what we're doing nowadays. So now he's going to have like a mini NFL team. He's going to have a GM, Mike Lombardi. He hired Mike Lombardi. He's going to have a GM. He's going to have a salary cap. Now that I'm looking at it with the new way, I think he could be setting a trend there. Like for what these programs.
The number 1 ranked quarterback in 2026 is already said he's going in for an official visit. I do think, thinking about it after hearing you talk too, like by going to college, Belichick's coming off a couple bad years.
Yeah.
He's still regarded as, if not the greatest coach of all time, one of them. He could only go the wrong way. If he goes back to the NFL,
right,
and he's already number 1, he can only go down.
You're right.
Even if he breaks Shula's record, he can only go down if he doesn't succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And by going to college, that will in no way, shape, or form affect his NFL legacy. So he gets to coach, which he wants to do, and he still gets to protect his NFL legacy.
Yep.
So I can see that thought process as well from him. It's a lot less risk. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. A lot of NFL guys have failed in college and vice versa. So it's not.
Yep.
It's not going to hurt his NFL legacy by doing that.
All right, Bill Belichick to North Carolina. The Dallas Cowboys are going to have to hire, I don't know. Oh, God. Who cares? You know what? Just keep what's his nuts up there? Mike McCarthy. All right?
McCarthy.
Douglas, speaking of the new age of college football, the Army-Navy game was yesterday. Of course, congratulations to the Navy midshipmen. Bowl season has officially begun, and we are looking at an unprecedented, something that's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing for years and years to come, an unprecedented 12-team college football playoff. The Ohio State football Buckeyes now have had a lot of time to heal. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, it's we just need this next game to come and go, and so we can move on from this bitter taste of that Michigan game and all the self-doubt that's creeped into Buckeye Nation. I'm not one of those. I feel very good about the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
I think we match up well with them, and I think we win a big game like that. It changes the mentality of everyone, the coaching staff, the players, the fans, and then we go into Oregon in a place we are comfortable in, and we have it out. And we have, in my opinion, the 2 best teams of college football playing in the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
And the winner of that game has got probably arguably the best chance to win it all. So let's go.
If I may say, I'm about to say something that's going to be translated as sacrilege by many old-fashioned, hardcore Ohio State fans. And I don't care. I don't give a shit. Because Ohio State lost that game to Michigan a few weeks ago. And I mean, you would have thought the world was coming to an end for some. And I take a step back and I wonder, I'm like, what am I missing here? Like, these are kids. These are teenagers playing a sport. And now they're getting paid. Doug, this is what the Ohio State football Buckeyes are trying to be an elite of elite. Our goal, national champion. Bear with me here. Our goal, national championships. There's too much weight on this Michigan game. It's a great rivalry, but we are in a new world. Like, get your balls out of a sling. Breathe. Okay, this Michigan game isn't the end-all be-all.
In years past, if you lose that game, you're not making the 14 playoff.
Yeah.
Right, you're not making the 14 playoff, which made it sting doubly worse. That's not the case anymore.
No, it's not.
I'm with you.
Michigan's not in this damn thing. Michigan's not in the dance. We're in the dance. We were in the dance, win or lose that game. Take college hoops, for example. Tell me the last 5 winners of the Big Ten basketball championship. Ultimately, it's the dance. It's the NCAA tournament. It's been that way for years. The conference tournament's fun, but Doug, you know this. How many number 1 seeds they lose in their conference tournament? It happens all the time. Because we're not sprinting yet. Basketball's had that figured out for a long time now. Hey, they got to slow their roll. And if they do, maybe they won't freaking pucker up. Christ, when our quarterback threw that first interception, you could hear 110,000 assholes pucker up from 100 miles away. Just lighten up on that game. Let's win the natty, baby.
There's so much onus being put on that game, and then you lose, and the sense of defeat in the players' minds. Like,
they might not get back up. They might get housed by Tennessee. That's right. They may not make your Doug. That's right. Totally agree. That's the problem, right?
That's why they got to take a breath. That's why I'm glad we had that extra week off. Yeah. If we come out and win this Tennessee game, and all of a sudden you're back, and you're like, okay, all right, we are good. We're fine. Then when we have the ability to play our best games, and we know when we play our best games that we are arguably the best team in college football, and Vegas tells you that. I mean, Vegas still gives us the third best odds to win it all, even with a terrible seeding. So,
do you think there's going to be some crazy is there going to be some massive underdog team win this thing? It feels like no. I mean, could Arizona State win this thing?
No.
Are the Hoosiers going to win in Notre Dame?
No, but God, would it be incredible to see that happen?
I know.
I mean, if there's one game I could pick besides Ohio State to pick a winner, I would love to see Indiana beat Notre Dame.
I know.
That'd be amazing.
Is this going to be?
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I know.
I think Indiana covers that game, but I just think Notre Dame is.
I know they're playing great, but hey, how fun is this tournament going to be? I mean, it's going to be sick. If you had to predict right now in this tournament, are we predicting Ohio State?
I'm taking Ohio State over Texas.
All right, folks. So, before we get to the mailbag, do you have any thoughts? Do you care about this NBA Cup? You got the Bucks and the Thunder in the finals. Is it fun for you? Do you like it, this in-season tournament?
Well, I mean, I'm very much into the NBA right now, mostly due to my Cavs. But the NBA Cup, now that the Cavs are out of it,
20. Are they 22-4?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, Atlanta, they've lost twice to Atlanta, which is bizarre. But they're the real deal,
Bill Simmons, Bill Simmons and those NBA guys, they love Atlanta. They think Atlanta's
the kind of team that steps up and beats Boston and Cleveland, and then turns around and loses to the worst teams in the league the next night. It's really weird.
I know, but really I guess my point, I'm not a big NBA. They're saying that Atlanta is for real. So, but the Cavs, do you think is it time to start talking potential chip? I mean, are the Cavs?
I think the two best teams in the league are the Celtics and the Cavs. No,
the Thunder. The Thunder. Oklahoma City.
The Thunder are number 3 in my opinion.
Interesting. Vegas would disagree.
But now they're in the West, huh?
I said Vegas would disagree.
I would rather, because you're looking at the odds, because they know that Cleveland has to go through Boston.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yep.
I would much rather be in the same conference as Oklahoma City than Boston. Let's put it that way.
Interesting. All right. Well, listen, it's been fun here in Cleveland. People are enjoying this. 22-4. Not too shabby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get to that freaking mailbag that you all love so much. Doug loves, I love. Let's get right to the mailbag. We got 2 questions. If this doesn't perfectly embody a Casey on Tap audience member, I don't know what does. It goes from very serious to Perv Nation very quickly. So let's take a look-see, shall we? All right, Doug, you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, Casey, love the podcast. Keep it coming, especially the mailbag. In light of your message about the impacts of alcohol, she means my overall message. This is a teacher writing, by the way. Wanted to give my personal perspective as a teacher. All right. This year alone, she wants to give 3 different examples. And she's a junior high teacher, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, of several students in 3 different scenarios in which alcohol has drastically negatively impacted them in the classroom. Scenario 1, the student exhausted in class, falling asleep all the time, right? They have to ask what's going on. Response is, quote, had to sleep on the floor last night, didn't get any sleep because my mom's boyfriend came over and he was so drunk and so loud, kept me up all night. Scenario 2, usually comes to school hungry, without a lunch. He doesn't qualify for financial aid from the school because his parents make too much money, making comments such as, quote, my mom was too drunk to go to the store last night. In scenario 3, I personally arrived at school with a massive migraine recently, so I was squinting, and because of the bright lights. A student asked, what's the matter? Are you drunk, or did you get drunk last night? You look like you're hungover. 6th grade student said that. So the teacher was obviously shocked, like, no, I'm not hungover. It's a headache. So those are 3 scenarios of how alcohol is hurting these students. P.S. To the guy who wrote in about his girl only getting to the finish line with a toy, don't take it personally. At least she's being honest with you. Just like there's pressure on a guy to finish, there's pressure on a woman to finish. I thought it was just fantastic how it goes from one to another. So, Doug, go ahead. Your thoughts on these 3 scenarios and alcohol and students, and because that's a great perspective.
Yeah, no, it's a great perspective, and it's with kids in school. I've got a sophomore, I've got a 6th grader, and to think about the fact that she's dealing with alcohol in junior high.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just kind of it's a different. It's just different. It's eye opening, and it's alarming, and it makes you really like double check and want to make sure that your kids aren't in that kind of situation or dealing with that in the classroom. It's just, I mean, there's different worlds out there, and just it's sad that kids are going through that.
And if I may, because I know this person and I know the school she teaches at, this is a good school. The first thing I think of is how many students aren't saying anything. You know what I mean? Going through stuff like that, or having freaking parent. I got to tell you, I'm a first ballot Hall of Fame drinker. I mean, anybody that knows me knows how passionate I'm. Alcohol is the devil's juice. Okay, and I don't care. Go ahead, drink. Hey, everyone's gonna drink. Everyone drinks. It's fine, but don't bring it here. Don't come to me with, I'm okay and it doesn't affect me. You're full of shit. Okay, it affects everybody the same way. It makes everybody more negative. It makes everybody more depressed. It makes everybody stupid. And unfortunately, here you have the youth of America, coming into school hurting because the parents are out, getting all liquored up. Shame, shame, shame. That's some bullshit. So thank you for that. I'm not going to name the name. She didn't want the name, but thank you very much. And just incredible perspective. That's what it's all about, Doug. Just perspective. So this helps one person or one mom or one dad's like, man, maybe I shouldn't drink tonight. Yeah. God bless you. Give the kid a chance. Okay. Mailbag number 2. Hey guys, absolutely love the show. Hope you read my message. I could really use some sage advice. I'm 45. Once married and divorced, no children. Great job, great family, great friend. About 5 years ago, a professional friend of mine, for several years prior, and I began a much more intimate affair. She was married at the time with children ages 22 and 16. I constantly, and I mean constantly, heard nothing but terrible things about her then husband of 20 years and that she was divorcing him. Let me emphasize horrible things about her husband and marriage. We met up several times a week for years, and eventually we fell in love. made it clear we wanted to be together. Again, they're both 45, I guess. That's where things started to take a slow turn. She ended up taking over 2.5 years to actually divorce her husband while living in the same house with him and her children the entire time. Meanwhile, I was approaching it like a single man in a normal relationship. Fast forward to today. I adore her, but I'm at my wit's end. She has met my entire family and all of my close friends. She's been invited to and included to several family events. I, to this very day, have yet to be included or invited to anything on her side. Haven't been introduced to her children or any of her friends. When asked, she claims, "You don't understand my story and how hard it is for them." She won't have a conversation about anything of substance without massive deflection and a complete absence of accountability. She instead reverts to huddling up with her yes friends and sending one-sided text messages to me that frankly remind me of a teenager. We recently took a 6-week break, at which point I signed up for an online dating app for 2 weeks. It was fruitless, but I'm 100% looking for a real relationship, without a doubt. Of course, one of her friends alerted her to my profile, at which point I was sent a smart-ass text message essentially saying all of her suspicions about me were confirmed. I told her there was an easy explanation, if we could just please discuss for 5 minutes. Instead, she's been busy shopping for 2 days with her children, haven't heard from her since. Sorry for the length. Can you please help? Scott from Columbus. How about that email?
So it sounds like she was able to go a long time, having the best of both worlds. She had her husband, she had this guy. Eventually, she got the divorce. It took a while. I don't understand why she got the divorce and now she seems to be stalling again. It doesn't make much sense. I mean, they've been dating this long, and she's yet to introduce him to her children or her friends. That apparently some of her friends know about her because her friends are the ones that notified her about the dating app. So he must have met some friends at some point, but it's obviously not progressing like he wants. I mean, it's like any relationship at this point. She's no longer married. That's no longer an issue here. He's got to sit down with her and say, "Hey, here's what I want, and this is it, and where are we going with this?" I mean, you got to. I mean,
and they're not 21-year-olds. We're talking about mid-40s,
yeah,
grown kids.
Well,
what the hell's going on?
He's got to stop letting her get away with all this. I mean,
yeah, you're right. No,
he's asking us what he should do. He should tell her she's got to shit or get off the pot. I mean, clearly he's not
something
happy
tells
with
me
the
that he listens to us. Something tells me that he came to us consciously or subconsciously for accountability. Right?
Yeah.
Doug, you just hit it right on the head. And Scott, before listen, look right here. Look at one of my best friends I've ever had right here, Doug. Just yesterday, a couple days ago, he says, "Why are you so critical of me?" Him and I, we get into some discussions about life, and like I won't lower my standards. Okay, if critical's how you say it, then I'm critical. I will not compromise like my grandpa, my dad did not with me. I will not compromise. I know what I won't, especially when it's easy, when you're down, you're crying, you're licking your wounds. Oh, it's okay. No, the accountability starts with you. Doug's right? It starts with you. Unfortunately, that's the reality. Is that you said you loved her. Obviously, there's a lot of good stuff, but it starts with you. I want you to be better. I want you to be great. I want you to be your best self. And the reality is, you didn't set the boundaries, and now we're suffering the consequences. And here's what I've learned, and I've been in the affair game. Okay, I've had it happen to me. I've done it. I've been on one side of it when I was younger. Now I'm on a different side. I've learned, I've evolved, I've grown, but I do know the intricacies of inside that bubble. She was lying to her family and her friends. This is the stone cold reality on her side. She was the one living a lie. Okay. "Oh no, my husband was so mean. You don't understand." No, I do fucking understand. It's very simple. In The Office, there's a great episode after Michael leaves and Dwight takes over, and he's the boss, and a gun goes off, and then he gets fired. He says, "Hey, I think you should reconsider." And she says, "Okay, did you fire a gun off in the office?" Dwight says, "It's complicated." She goes, "You see, it's not." Whether she wants to admit it or not, whether she likes it or not, when's the last time you lived? lived, breathed, talked, eaten lies to your children, to your husband or wife, to your friends. You become the lie. She's lying to them. You were single. So our gross error in judgment, because our heart is telling us we're in love, was thinking that even when she divorced the guy, that she could just immediately stop lying to herself, to her friends. How the hell would you? She's living it, breathing it for years. And unless she's taking therapeutic steps to understand that, you're thinking one thing. Her mind doesn't, what the hell? What has her life been? I want you to think about this. What was her life for years? It was a lie. It was a lie. Was she going home, cooking dinner for the kids and coming to you saying she loved you? And what do you think she's telling them? Hey, guess what? I just left my boyfriend. No. Let me tell you about yes friends. When he said, she goes, Doug, would you consider me a yes friend? Like you know what I mean by yes friend when you just need people.
Yeah. You are by no means a yes friend.
No. I don't want yes friends. I don't want them at this stage of my life. What the hell? Scott Van Allman, he's my brother. He's the greatest influence and friend I've ever had in my entire life. He's the one that drilled this in my heart, in my mind, just through day after day of being around him. He's the greatest friend I've ever, and he has told me no, and he has told me I'm out of line. Stop telling me what they did wrong. I want to hear what you did wrong. He's the greatest friend I've ever had. Anybody can surround themselves with a bunch of nimnicks at a bar. Oh, you're so right. Everything you're saying is right. I mean, give me a break. If this is what you need, text messaging like a child? Oh, there's nothing drives me nuts more. Nothing drives me nuts more than someone that wants to text me something more serious than the weather. Give me a break. If you're 25 years old or younger, maybe that's how you grew up. Fine, you get a pass. Not at this age. No. Don't even try that shit with me. Look me in the eyes. Let's discuss this like adults. That was good, Doug. I think we did good there. I think we touched on everything, I think. All right, Doug. Before we go, we had a pretty cool moment for you, a little parent corner with you and your beautiful daughter, Samantha.
Well, my daughter just turned 16, just got her license last week, and then just this weekend got her first car. It's a big deal.
Sweet 16, yeah. Samantha license car. How you feel? Did you shed a tear?
A little bit, yeah. And it's nerve-wracking. And it's a little nerve-wracking, and it's exciting, and it's she had practice at 8:00 this morning, and she was able to take herself, which was nice.
You're like, wait, because you've done. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's sweet. And for those of you out there that understand, I don't have kids, but I do have dogs. The love that I have for my dogs is unconditional and it's unwavering. And my precious baby boy, Clubber Lang Wandell the first, turned 8 years old yesterday, Douglas. 8 years old.
8 years old.
I got him when he was 6 weeks old.
That's like what, 56 reality?
Yeah.
He's about your age. He's about your age now in relation.
That's right. Douglas, awesome job. It was great seeing you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, that's Douglas William Wade. I'm Casey Wandell. This is Casey on Tap. Have a great day. God bless. Be safe. Take care. See you again soon. Bye-bye.
Do you believe this stuff that's coming out of your mouth? There's no way you do it.
This was a credit card cuckold.
Love wins out in the end,